The Arizona podcast is brought to you by Triumph Protective Coatings, a flooring company that specializes in epoxy flooring and concrete resurfacing systems. They speak Spanish, they're in the LA area, and they are an amazing company to work with. They have awesome customer service and they give you honest quotes with great work, and I couldn't recommend them enough. So if you use the promo code ArrowsUp, you get a 15% off on your next project. So call them, reach out to them. You can find them at on the internet, triumphcoatingsca.com, and you can request a free quote and all that fun stuff. You can follow them on Instagram, triumph_coatings, and they do speak Spanish and they do great work, like I said. So check them out. Promo code ArrowsUp, 15% off your next project. Welcome to the Arizona Podcast. On this episode of the Arizona Podcast, I have a solo pod today, and I talk about what we need. What do we need in Southern California? What do we need in the NBA? What do we need in the NFL? What do we need? We got a lot of needs. And so I kind of throw out just what I want to see in Southern California. And in terms of sports, I wanted to just kind of hit Man U lost today, but it's a different feeling right now. And maybe, I'm all in on Bruno Amorim, so maybe that's why I'm just like, it's different. It's different this time. When we were losing in the past with Ole, with Ten Hag, it just felt like we weren't going anywhere. And the difference now, I just feel like we have a direction that we haven't had. And we haven't had a direction, a vision in a while. And I know that Ten Hag boys for a long time were pushing this idea that we got to be patient. We got to be patient. Trust the manager, and that's where I'm at. That's where I am with Bruno Amorim. Would it have been nice to beat Tottenham today? Of course. Would it be nice to kind of like take the league by storm and qualify for Europe and win this cup and win that cup? Of course, 100%. But you know what I want to see more than anything else? I want to see Man U be the consistent monster that we used to be. Be the leaders in Europe and in England like we used to be. Where when you say we're playing Man United, it means something like it used to mean. So that's what I want more than anything else. And so if that's going to take time, I'm down with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being patient and letting things develop. I'm good. What I don't want is to be stuck. And that's how I felt like we were. We were stuck. Someone like Rashford a few seasons ago under Ten Hag, under Ole, would have been catered to and his ego would have been massaged. And, oh, please, please. And he says, I want a new challenge. And Amorim says, well, yeah, I love that. There's a new challenge here. There's no bigger challenge than to be successful in Man U. So he should be gone. Anthony should be gone. Onana, get that guy out of my team, please. I like where we're at. Is it going to suck for a little bit? Yeah. But it just doesn't feel hopeless like it used to feel. We're aiming and we're going somewhere. And we got a good coach. Mason Mount, hopefully you get well soon. Bad luck for that guy, man. That guy keeps getting hurt. Anyway, that's where we're at. Man U. Glory, glory, Man United forever. Anyway, here's the pod. Here we go. There's a podcast. On this episode, I have sports, sports, and lack of coffee shops around our area, or at least my area. Let's get into it, shall we? So, if you live in the LA area, you will come across a lot of Starbucks, a lot of um, Dunkin' Donuts now. You find them uh, around. You will also find the Coffee Beans and those type of establishments. And you'll find, like, depending where in Southern California you are at, you'll find your boba spots and things like that. And then you'll find like your coffee shops and they're kind of sprinkled throughout the Southland. And one of the things that I've noticed, and it's one of the things that one realizes when you just start driving around places, and it's one of the things that makes you realize that there's a difference between social media and reality, and there's a difference between everybody talking about it or everybody does something versus the reality of stuff, And one of the things I've realized is we don't have enough coffee shops. And that may sound super strange, and honestly, it might just sound like ridiculous to even suggest that there isn't enough coffee shops, but there just isn't enough shops where one can go and either drink a coffee and sit there or study. And I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying there isn't enough of them. And there isn't enough of them that serve people of all schedules. So you get the coffee shops that are open like 6 to 3. And that seems to be very standard here in LA. The 6 to 5, 6 to 4 coffee shop. And then you get the ones that close like at 7 or 8. And then that's pretty much it. And then if you want like coffee, you have to go to like a Starbucks that's open late or something like that. And it kind of sucks because you kind of want to have like a place where you can go and be there and hang out with friends or read a book or study. And I just don't think that we have enough of those here in LA. We have a lot of trendy stuff and a lot of trendy coffee shops, but we need more. And that might not be a take that you thought you were going to get in 2024, this idea that we need more coffee shops, but it's where we're at. It's where we're at with coffee shops. We need more of them. And we need more of them that are open late. We need more of them that are open till like midnight. We need more that are open at a time where somebody who works and gets up at 5 and wants to go study like at 8 is able to go and is able to kind of like enjoy the time away from home. And there is something magical about going to a coffee shop and studying and kind of being around other strangers and drinking coffee and or a latte or whatever. And you see it in like the portrayals of Oregon, for example. My sister lived in Oregon for a while, and she would tell me like, oh yeah, there's coffee shops everywhere. And I remember when I went to go visit her, we went to Eugene. She didn't live in Eugene, but I just uh, I just wanted to go to Eugene. So we went to Eugene, and there was like this really cool coffee shop, and it was like open like really late, um, and it was just like open space pretty much, and there was just tables everywhere, and people were just sitting and hanging out. And like, why can't we have something like this in different parts of LA? Why can't we just like have places where people can come and chill and just like sit and relax? And it might just be the culture of the city here where everyone's just like up and going and, in a rush, or at least everyone pretends to be in a rush and everyone pretends to be like extremely busy. But I think in LA, we could fit a few coffee shops where it just slows down. You go in there and you're not in a hurry, and it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be there the next 4 hours, and you're just burning. One of my cousins used to say, just burning cheese. And you're just burning cheese at the coffee shop, and we need that. We miss that here in LA, and so that's my petition. I want that. I want there to be more coffee shops. I want there to be um, more of that. And I'm starting the pod this way because I've been looking at the sports landscape, and I've been looking at the things that are around the world of sports. And I'm realizing that we're missing just different elements. We're different missing elements of what makes our society, um, sports society, not like society at large. Sports society is so great. And one of the things that we're missing in sports is a true competitive spirit and a true competitive nature. And because one of the things that is seen in the world of sports, for example, is this idea that everyone that plays sports is competitive. And the more you watch sports, the more you realize, yeah, that's kind of not true. And this isn't like a athletes make too much money. That's not what this is about. But we have lost our way in terms of what we expect from athletes. And I think I think it's the same way I want coffee shops to be a thing in LA, like real coffee shops where you go and you slow down and it's just like you just chilling. We need to return, and I wish we could return and come back to a place where our athletes cared about winning and losing, where our athletes cared about the outcome of games, where our athletes cared whether they failed or succeeded, where the athletes cared that their team lost or that they didn't win a championship or they didn't do this. And I almost feel like we are in a place, and it's probably always been this way, and maybe I'm just opening my eyes to this, but we put so much value into entertainment and so much value into the people that can entertain us and take us away from quote unquote real life, and the people that can distract us again from the quote unquote real life and take us to this place of uh of just like, you're in a concert, so you're imagining, you're living the song, you feel the song, you're at a sporting event and you're just captivated by the moment and everything that's happening, and I just think it's time that we demand excellence from these athletes it's time we demand excellence from what they do. And it's time that we take a stand financially when that doesn't happen. Because imagine if you went to a concert, right? Say you went to a concert and you went to go see Adele or Taylor Swift just had her giant like Eras tour. And imagine you went to go see Taylor Swift, and one of the nights she's just like, you know what? I know you guys bought tickets, and I know you bought them in advance, and I know you guys kind of build your budgets and your calendars around this one night that you're gonna come see me. And I know you've like seen videos of me performing and putting on great shows, and but you gotta understand, I'm coming off of like a back to back to back, and I'm tired. So you know what? Instead of giving you 3 hours like I gave the city before you, I'm gonna give you guys an hour, and I'm tired. You know, load management. I got a long tour ahead of me. People would riot. People would be pissed. People would demand their money back. People would be up in arms because the idea would be we come to see you and you're supposed to give us this great show. That's what we were paying for. And there's a great line in Mad Men of that's what the money's for. And if Taylor Swift were to complain that she's tired and this and that, we would say, well, that's what the money's for. That's why you get paid a lot of money. And when I look at the state of the NBA, for example, and it's well cataloged, ratings are down 48%. Well, since like 2012, people are losing interest. And we've seen the rise of load management, guys that don't want to play, teams play the same way, a bunch of threes. And you get these guys that don't play back-to-backs. You get these guys that their ankle's a little sore. I'm gonna be out the next 3 weeks. I'll be evaluated eventually. You get these guys that are day-to-day for like a pinky, and there's nothing we can do. And it is a ridiculous thing, because then it gets put on the consumer, on the fan, because it's like, well, you need to understand that, you know, these guys get tired too. And the response that I can think of is, that's what the money's for. That's what you get paid, the amount you get paid to do. But yeah, you're special. You're special because you could do these things at the highest level. But because you get paid that amount of money, you kind of should be able to push through and perform and go for things that we mere mortals couldn't do it. Because in no other place, and not to compare sports to regular jobs, but just in the regular, entertainment industry, in music, we would never allow that to happen. You have these acts that have fallen apart because they couldn't perform well. They sucked in person, so people just stopped going. And that's what's happening with the NBA. The players have made it very clear to the fans they don't care about the regular season. And we've said, well, neither do we. They've made it very clear that they don't care about the postseason either. Guess what? Neither do we. And as much as someone like Jason Tatum got criticized and made fun of this offseason after he won the title and he went on the corniest runs in recent memory, part of me, though, it's like, you know what? That guy actually cares, though. That guy plays every night. That guy shows up, and that guy has cared so much. And should his celebration be a little better? Yeah, maybe. Maybe he should be a little more original. But guess what? That guy actually cares. And that guy winning and Jaylen Brown winning and the Celtics winning, as much as I hate the Celtics, it's good for basketball because those guys actually care. And someone like Jimmy Butler, for example, and Heat culture and all this crap, that guy doesn't care about the regular season. That guy misses big playoff games because his knee hurts. And I think the thing that frustrates me as a fan, and Jimmy Butler said this a few weeks ago, where they were asking about the trading, him getting traded, and this, that, and the other. And he says, well, all that matters to me is my daughter, my kids, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you know what? Cool, dude, cool. But most people have families. Most people have kids. And most people have to sacrifice time with their kids to go to work. It's just human history throughout the history of the world. Since Adam and Eve, fathers have sacrificed their time to provide for their children. And so when athletes pull this father card, I'm just like, well, I mean, that's everybody. And the difference is, the flexibility. Jimmy Butler never has to work a real job in his life. And because of that, he can spend all the time with his daughters. But what isn't right is when the fan who is paying their hard-earned money to show up and be entertained isn't entertained, and that same fan says, you know what, I'm good, I'm out, I don't want to watch this, I'm not going to watch your product, I'm not going to spend money to go see you. And then the NBA, what they do to try to get people to care is give the players more money. And guess what? That's not what we care about. What we want to see is guys caring, guys being competitive, guys wanting to win. You know why during the pandemic, besides the fact that there was no sports, but why The Last Dance was so popular, and why to anyone who didn't see Jordan play, why that documentary kind of just took over and everybody was like, oh yeah, Jordan, was because you saw him, and even though he was a psychopath, and even though he was extremely flawed and probably not the best teammate and probably not the guy that you would want leading you, and he probably was a terrible dude to be around. But the reason why he resonated, the reason why the people who saw him play will fight you and argue with you to the end of time that he's the GOAT, because he's competitive. It's why when guys who played against Kobe talk about Kobe, they talk about him with so much reverence, because he was competitive and he cared. And you see this almost like this I don't even know, like this like attitude towards the fan from the modern NBA guy, that they're beneath us. Like, how dare these people? It's like they're disgusted at the NBA fan. How dare they want me to play more? How dare they boo me? And it's like, well, this is what the job is. This is what the money is for. The money is for you to suck it up, and for you the trade-off is this: you live a great life, and you're set up for generations upon generations, and you just get your name just criticized or extremely glorified. That's the trade-off. That's what it is. Michael Jordan could not walk down the street of any U.S. city. He couldn't. He can't without getting mauled. But that's what the money's for. Because he gets paid all that money, and he lived up to the billing, and if he has to never be able to have a moment to himself, I kind of don't feel bad for that, to be honest with you. The fact that LeBron can't walk down the street or can't go to whatever restaurant without getting interrupted. Should people be better? Yeah, maybe. But that's also what the money's for. And if you don't want it, then leave. Be a Kermit. And I think this is the part where, when I think of the state of the NBA, and when I think of where we find ourselves as fans and as a society, if you don't care, then we don't care. And it is why it means so much to fans when it means so much to the players. And it's why the conversation that people have about LeBron, for example, whether he's a Laker, whether the city of LA has embraced them, why is it that the Kobe fans hate LeBron and Harry, for example, he's on that on that stand. I'll root for the Lakers when LeBron leaves. Why is that? Well, because Kobe cared about being a Laker. Kobe cared about winning. Kobe cared about winning and losing with the Lakers. And yeah, did he ask to be traded? Yeah. Did he almost sign with the Clippers? Yeah. And that was all the drama and but you forgive and forget, and that's what happens. That's what happens. That's the way it goes. So how do you fix the NBA? I don't know. But there's bright spots. Bright spots in Giannis, who won the NBA Cup, because Giannis cares, and Giannis is super competitive, and Giannis has the mentality of a guy who wants to win every single day, everything. So there's bright spots. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, who win and play every single night, no matter what they're playing. Bright spots. And is the American athlete too coddled? Maybe. Is the American athlete ever going to get back to that mindset? Maybe. But I think it's also going to have to come down to the consumer. If we are not okay with Taylor Swift giving us a subpar performance, we shouldn't be okay with athletes giving us subpar performances. And that's where the NBA finds themselves. Ultimately, the NBA will be fine because globally it hasn't been more popular than it is now. The NBA is just struggling nationally. Internationally, though, they're doing fine. We need more coffee shops, though. What we also need, staying in this topic, what we also need is better quarterback play in the NFL. In the NFL, quarterback play is both at an all-time high and at an all-time low. You look at the bright moments in the NFL, and you'll look at a game with Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or guys like that. And you say, the NFL, what do you mean? The quarterback play is impressive. It couldn't be better. It couldn't be better. What are you talking about? And then you look at games with the Panthers, and you say, wait a minute. Bryce Young has been playing better. Maybe. The Bears with Caleb Williams. You look at the Falcons and the mess with Kirk Cousins. You look at whoever the hell the Raiders throw out there. The Colts. And you say, the Jaguars, the Giants, the Titans, the Saints, the Browns. And you just say, man, quarterback, what is going on with quarterback play? In the same way we need more coffee shops, in the same way we need coffee shops where you can go and just chill and relax and time stops, we need quarterbacks to play, I don't know, just better. Quarterback play is the one position, and it's the one type of position in sports where we see like ridiculous special guys and then the most like awful play. And you see both superhero Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and you say, "Wow, that's ridiculous." And then you see other moments where you're like, what? Like this guy is a professional athlete? Like this guy?" And I don't know what other sport has that. And just the biggest drop off from top of the league to the low to like middle, not even the lower, the middle. The drop off is so drastic that it makes it almost doesn't make any sense at all why that drop off is so low. How is it that some people? Well, how is it that they make it this far? It's almost like the game is rigged. You know, it's almost like they're people don't know what they're doing at the evaluation standpoint, where you get so many guys that are not good at all playing the most important position, according to a lot of the so-called experts. The most important position in all of sports is filled with guys that suck. And how is that possible? How is that even possible? I don't understand. It's a lot like what we see in politics. Politics is the people in power, the people running the country, the people that are putting together laws and get together and write laws and put these laws so that the somebody can vote them in. And you see some of these people, yeah, this is the best. This is the best we can do. And over the last elections, that's probably how we have felt as a nation. Like, these are the two best people. Like, everybody that lives everybody that's an American citizen, these are the best people we can possibly have. How is that even possible? And that's how I feel about some quarterback play. Like, how is that possible? How is it possible that quarterback play can be this ridiculous? How can it be so extreme from the highest to the lowest? It just makes absolutely no sense. And I get it. If you put, any one of these guys to play versus the regular guy, they'd cook them. But I do wonder, would they cook them because they're that much just talented, or would they cook them because they got out of training? Because I'll tell you one thing. You pull a guy from you get a group of guys or a guy that plays in high school basketball, for example, and that guy plays against dudes at the park. He just shows up and plays against dudes in the park. That guy will like play pretty good and hold up really well. And sometimes it isn't because he's really good or really talented. It's just he has all the training. He has all the tactical stuff. So because of the tactical stuff that the common guy doesn't have, that's the advantage. And I wonder if you take some of these guys, you take whoever the Raiders want to throw out at quarterback. You take Desmond Ridder. You take Cousins when he's playing. You take someone like Caleb who just runs around. You take Mason Rudolph, and you take some of these guys, and it's like, okay, are they like good for like a regular quarterback and amazing compared to a regular guy, or do they just have the tactical stuff? Because I can't believe that it is this significant, the separation between the quarterback play. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why it is so vast, because you don't see it like in other sports. You don't have like this like crazy separation from the best point guards in the NBA to the middle. You don't get like the best hitters in baseball. They're not like ridiculously better than the middle of the guys. And in quarterback play, it is that significant. And you see that in running backs. You see that with offensive tackles, and you see that in football in general. That the question then becomes, do we have enough people playing football? Which sounds, again, an insane thing to bring up, because it's a 53-man roster in the NFL and you get 100 plus in college football. And so for me to ask, do we have enough people playing football? It's like, are you stupid? But seriously, do we have enough people playing football? Are we evaluating? Do we have to improve how we evaluate? Should we just have like everyone just gets a chance to play? Because I don't understand. I don't understand why it is so vast. Because you would think it would be like comparable. You would think the drop off wouldn't be so steep. And the drop off in some of these positions in football is sometimes like ridiculously steep. And it doesn't make any sense. Because if, like the Niners, when the Niners were without Purdy against the Packers, it was like, yeah, they're going to lose. No chance. Brandon Allen, no chance. You're like, no chance? Really? Yeah, Purdy's not playing. You're like, okay, but I mean, the guy that's playing, he plays in the NFL. He has to be somewhat good, right? He's in the NFL. Like, he has nothing. Like, no, Niners have no chance. And that is like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. Then why is he in the NFL roster? Why is he playing football? If you're telling me that if the backup to whatever position gives you no chance, then why are they on your team? Maybe they shouldn't be on your team. Because in a sport like football, where there's injuries, you would think that your backup's backup would be good too, would be serviceable. And it just doesn't happen. And in a roster of 53, you sometimes get like, oh man, roster's thin. Is it? You have 53 guys. Yeah, we got no depth. What? And that's what I'm asking. Do we need more people to play football? Do we need to change the evaluators? Do we need to change the scouts? Because you hear some of the people that scout sports, and it's always the same thing. Oh, look at his size. Oh, man, this guy runs really fast. Oh, man, look at this guy. He's so tall. Oh, man, look at his strength. He does. And it's almost like that just, I mean, do you watch games? Was he good in games? Nah, well, I don't know. But he runs really fast. Cool. Can he catch the ball? Oh, man, you should have seen this guy, man. Oh, man. Oh, this guy. Oh. And because I think of like someone like Patrick Mahomes, who will probably go down as the second greatest quarterback of all time. And we're probably going to have LeBron Jordan type of talk with Mahomes, and everybody that saw Brady, it's going to die on the hill of Brady. And everybody, all the new cats will say Mahomes. But Mahomes wasn't like the man in college. And people, if you go back and hear what they would say about Mahomes, it's like, oh, he's erratic and he throws a lot of picks and he's kind of out of control sometimes. And then you watch his like tape and you say, well, I mean, yeah, this guy's kind of good, man. I don't know. I think this could work. And it's why we get lazy. So someone like Caleb Williams, who ran around and did a lot of stupid stuff, and held on to the ball a lot in USC, people say, well, Patrick Mahomes, he's like Patrick Mahomes. Why? He runs around with the ball and then he throws it. Okay. And that is a way to say I don't watch the games. So I just saw some highlights, and he kind of did what Mahomes did once. And so it's why I'm asking, do we need more football players? Maybe we need to, and I know like a lot of the positions in sports have a lot to do with the relationships, but maybe it should just be like, hey, how many games do you watch a week? It's about games. Because it seems like if you're able to watch a game, you're able to tell that guy works, that guy doesn't. And it's why Taurean Prince, with the Lakers, not a good 3-point shooter. With the Bucks, great 3-point shooter. You know why? Because he gets open looks with the Bucks. The ball moves around with the Bucks. And the ball moves around, not at the last minute, not in sets, all the time. When you play with LeBron, the ball doesn't move as much. When you play with Kobe, the ball doesn't move as much. So someone like Prince or whatever shooter, I remember the Lakers got, what was his name? Capono. And I was like, oh, man, the Lakers got a good 3-point shooter. And he sucked with the Lakers. You're like, how? How are you good with Miami? Jason Capono, yeah. How are you good with Miami and make all these threes, and then you come to the Lakers and you suck? Well, because guys like that are used to moving and getting to open spots and getting the ball again and the ball again, and they get to shoot and they get rhythm, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 and they're making threes. You go to and play with a guy like Kobe, you're not going to get the ball as much. You're not going to get the ball in rhythm. You're not ever going to be able to get in the groove. You play with someone like LeBron, you're not going to be able to get in a groove like that. But you play with Giannis, you play with Dame, you play in a different type of offense. And yeah, the ball moves, and you get more shots, and you get groove. You get in a groove. But if you don't watch the games, you're like, oh, man, that guy sucked with us, man. I can't remember that guy sucks. And you're like, well, it doesn't suck. He just naked systems. It's why when people say, how do you build a team around LeBron? Oh, shooters. You need shooters. What kind of shooter, though? Because you can't just say, like, any type of shooter. You need a shooter that is okay with going stretches without touching the ball. That's what you need. And I think that's on scouting, because scouts will say things, or the dudes that study the drafts will say stuff, and you're just like, what? Did you watch? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, he's built, man. He's built like this. Oh, my God. And, and it's why we get tragic stories, because scouts aren't watching games. So watch games. We need more football players. We need more competitive heart, spirit from NBA players. And we need more coffee shops in Southern California. My final thought for today is as we head into the end of the year, I don't know what 2025 will hold for us, but my final thought is that we should support and we should continue to support our friends, and we should continue to just take risk, and we should continue to not care, and we should continue to have an attitude of, I'm going to try it. I want to do this, and you do it. That's my final thought. Go for it. Pursue it. Pursue it for you. Don't pursue it to make money necessarily. Pursue it for you. If you have a hobby, pursue that hobby. And if it makes money, makes money. But pursue it. Do it. You want to make strawberries, chocolate-covered strawberries? Make chocolate-covered strawberries. And if someone says, hey, make some for me? How much? You make money. But let's make hobbies for the love of the game. For the love of the game. I do this podcast not because I'm getting paid. No one's paying me. I do it because I love it. I love to talk. I love to yap and yap about sports. I love it. And if somebody just say, hey, you know what? Here's some money. Some sponsor to be like, hey, here's some money. Here, can you talk about our product? Dude, let's do it. But pursue your hobbies for love. And what happens with it, happens. But let's pursue it for the love of the game. That's my final thought. I'll talk to you later. That's the pod. Thank you to Angel. Thank you to Triumph. Thank you to you for listening. I'll talk to you again next week. Monday. Or Sunday. We'll see. I'll talk to you again next week. Yeah, follow us on Instagram. Arrows Up. YouTube channel. Arrows Up YouTube channel. Yeah, enjoy your weekend. Get your shopping done, or don't. Christmas is coming, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, why is it offensive if someone says Merry Christmas? I don't get it. Do Chinese people get offended if you tell them Happy New Year January 1st? I don't know. Something I was thinking about today. I thought I was going to record it with David, so I was going to present this to him. But anyway, whatever. I'll talk to him. When I talk to him, I'll bring this up. But Christmas is here, so hopefully, or whatever you celebrate. Buy gifts, don't buy gifts. Whatever. Do whatever you want. But, yeah. So, I'll talk to you then. Glory, glory, Man United. We lose. Heartbreaker. Not heartbreaker. Frustrating. Martial heartbreaker. Rashford seems to be out. Amorim is like, hey, you want a challenge? I'm a challenge. He should stay. And Rashford's kind of like, I don't know. So it seems like he's out. Maguire outlasting and outplaying Rashford 2 years ago. Somebody said that to me. I would have been like, what? Did Rashford have a ridiculous injury? No, he just a diva. Oh, okay. But we lost out of the Cordoba? I don't know. We're out of that cup. We'll see what happens with the season. But Bruno Amorim, that's my guy. Trust the process. Glory, glory, Man United. Go Lakers. Beat the Kings tonight. Good win. That's the Lakers. Hopefully they're going to just string some wins together. Win today. Play the Kings again on Saturday. Hopefully we can beat them again. 15-12. Not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. So we'll see. So go Lakers. And 49ers play Dolphins. Season's over. And on Twitter, people are like, if this happens, Niners will make the playoffs. And we're not making the playoffs. And if you want Kyle Shannon fired, you're stupid. Just telling you right now, you're stupid. At me, Germ4 on X, Twitter, Arrows Up Podcast, Instagram. At me, you're stupid if you want Kyle Shannon fired. So, with that, very defiant, Bang Bang Magazine. The Arrows Up Podcast is brought to you by Triumph Protective Coatings, a flooring company that specializes in epoxy flooring and concrete resurfacing systems. They speak Spanish, they're in the LA area, and they are an amazing company to work with. They have awesome customer service, and they give you honest quotes with great work, and I couldn't recommend them enough. So use the promo code ARROWSUP, you get a 15% off on your next project. So call them, reach out to them. You can find them on the internet, triumphcoatingsca.com, and you can request a free quote and all that fun stuff. You can follow them on Instagram, triumph_coatings, and they do speak Spanish and they do great work, like I said. So check them out. Promo code ARROWSUP, 15% off your next project.